treat.
Alright guys, today we're going on like a ferry tour.
Why aren't we walking on the sidewalk?
Just walking where there's stumps and roots. I was tripped on one of those. Anyways, we're going to like a ferry. First, we're at the aquarium parking garage. And there's a maritime center you have to go to. It's where you get on the boat. I don't know, so I was just doing stuff, and they're like, hey, let's make a floating building. Gotta get the tourism shots here. Here we are.
Big smiles. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Oh, gotta check you in real quick. Jason has it. Now you're excited. Jason, we got a group of 5 here. I got you. You guys are all set.
We go on the top. Right.
So top 3 can be boarding.
Okay. Yeah.
The ship's called the Carolina Belle.
Yep.
You can see it right there. I think you can. Probably can.
Yeah.
Well, I was making sure the camera could see it. It smells like diesel over here.
Yeah.
I like your dress. Pretty. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Welcome aboard. Help ourselves to seating, or?
It's on the top deck or go down below. It's up to you guys.
I think we should go over there and look. It shows.
No, we'll sit on it.
We'll walk around. We'll check it out. Right over there and under the shade will be a great spot. How are you? You guys using that popcorn? That's fun.
Dang it.
I already feel it. I'm feeling.
Okay.
Travis in the pilot house. I like to go over a few things about the boat you're on and also go over a few rules before we get the boat off the dock here momentarily. Everyone loves rules, don't they? Where you all just came on board the Carolina Belle, you all came on board the top deck. And right now, a lot of you are standing up or sitting down on the top deck. And on the top deck is where all 3 of our restrooms are located. On the left side, the port side of the top deck, we have a handicapped unisex restroom with a baby changing station. And on the right side, the starboard side of the top deck, we have both a male and female restroom. At the back of the top deck is where the Belle Cafe is located. We have plenty of water on board. It's been really hot here the last few days here in Charleston. It's a little bit cooler today, thank goodness. And the wind was out of the north earlier. But take advantage of that water, stay hydrated. We also have other drinks and snacks for you guys in the Belle Cafe. The Island Oasis machine is operational, so if you'd like a frozen drink, we have pina colada and margarita flavor available. We also have chips, popcorn, cookies, peanuts, those types of things. Working with me this afternoon is my mate Jacob, also our deckhand Miles, and our photographer Trinity will be on board. She'll be walking around during the harbor tour showing you guys some photos. We ask that there be no smoking or vaping on the Carolina Belle. We appreciate that. And if you have any trash, we'll try and come pick up that trash, but we also have trash receptacles located on both the top deck and down below. And down below there's additional seating. You'll be protected from the wind or the heat if it bothers you. The air conditioning is on down below. And you'll also be able to hear both the music and the narration. And now I'll go over a few rules. Rule number 1, no swimming. It's hot enough to go swimming. This air temperature is almost perfect for swimming weather. But the water temperature is also perfect. It's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. But I don't recommend swimming in this harbor. The current is really strong, so save the swimming for the pools and the beaches. Rule number 2, always keep 3 points of contact while moving around the boat. That means 2 feet on the deck and at least 1 hand on a stationary object. Those of you who want to go down to the below deck, there are 2 ladder wells that will lead you there, also known as stairways. They are very steep. Make sure you use both the handrails as you make your way down to the below deck, and vice versa for the below deck back up to the top deck. Those of you who are on the top deck right now, if you look to your left and right, you may notice some blue lines. We ask that you keep a safe distance from these blue lines, as we'll be getting the boat off the dock here momentarily. And at the end of the tour, we'll come back towards the dock. Also keep a safe distance from those blue lines, as we'll be trying to get the vessel back on the pier safely. Alright guys, one more rule. This is the last one, rule number 3.
Here we go.
If you're wearing a hat, pull it down tightly. Now if you lose that hat, kindly raise your hand and then we will all wave goodbye to that hat. In all seriousness, I haven't seen any hats go overboard in the water yet. I've seen some close calls though. I've had a couple close calls. But what normally happens is someone's hat or other personal item flies off the person and lands on the deck. And if that happens to your hat or other personal object, please be very careful picking up whatever it is of yours off the deck, as the boat is always moving. Sometimes there's wakes from other vessels that will cause our boat to roll and heel. I will try to announce those. We just want you guys to be safe. We have life jackets on board. They're located on both the top deck and down below. Down below, the life jackets are located all the way forward in the forward compartment. And on the top deck, the life jackets are located behind the pilot house, behind the restrooms, and a port and starboard deck locker. Again, this is Captain Travis. Thank you all for coming with us this afternoon. Beautiful day we're having so far here in Charleston. Also, if you haven't seen any dolphins yet since we've been tied to the dock, I can almost guarantee we'll see dolphins on this harbor tour. If I see the dolphins, I'll try to pause the narration, let you guys know where they're located. If you guys see the dolphins and I do not, you guys let me know where they're located, and again, I'll try to pause the narration and let the rest of the passengers know where they are. A couple weeks ago, my co-worker witnessed a dolphin giving birth here off to the right of our vessel in the basin here. I thought that was pretty cool. Also, if you see any pelicans, if they are brown pelicans, these are now South Carolina's new state seabird. South Carolina's always had a state bird, the Carolina wren, but now the brown pelican is our new state seabird. All right, guys, we'll be turning on the engines. Thank you all again for coming with us this afternoon. And today, Chutes Folly Island is around 24 acres, but at one time, it was over 200 acres in size. And when they dredged the shipping channel here in the port, apparently that contributed to some of the erosion off the island. But on Chutes Folly Island to our left, there's a castle on it with a flag flying over it today. And that's called Castle Pinckney, also known as Fort Pinckney. Now, Castle Pinckney or Fort Pinckney, it was used to defend the harbor from any enemies, such as the French and the Spanish. And when it was used to hopefully the guns would have been facing in the general direction we're headed now, close to the entrance of the harbor.
Cool, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Castle Pinckney to our left was also used during the Civil War to hold prisoners of war to a government. And people remember the battle on the outskirts of the original. In that battle, as the Confederate soldiers took some Union soldiers and they brought them back across the other side of the Union contact with them. One thing you talked about with Union soldiers that was all good was that how the Civil War started, they were all good city firefighters. They didn't actually really do city firefighters who were bad and wrong. In 2012, the country that had better purchase Castle Pinckney and Chutes Folly Island. And they've been bringing over archaeologists to the dig inside and outside the castle and on the island. So very important about its history. Now when we left the dock, I came over to the old maritime village. Once we got off the dock, we were on the Seabrook River. And right now we are still on the Seabrook River. And here to the right is another river, and then the river to our right is called the Ashley River. And right now these two rivers are merging into one another as they both come down into the but both of these two rivers were named after one person. And his name was Lord Anthony Ashley Cooper. He was one of the 8 lords prior to whom England had given a lot of land in the New World to manage. They ran the colonies of Paris for the first 2 decades. So in 1870, of English colonists and 2 ships on a 200-ton frigate.
Look at that dude over there.
Carolina, so we went up after the twilight to the first island on the west coast, which they named
There's a castle he was talking about.
established called Town. The ancient coast is technically now, if you guys have visited Charleston, you may have heard of a community in Charleston called West Ashley. And West Ashley is where the original settlement of Charleston is located. And there's a park you can go visit there today called Charlestown Landing. There's also another one that normally ties up in there that's offshore right now. But these 2 large vessels will go offshore all the way to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, all the way south to Cape Canaveral, Florida. And they will try to catch certain types of fish. And one of the fish they like to target are reef fish. Once they catch the reef fish, they'll bring them on board. The scientists will inspect them to see how healthy they are. This will help determine how healthy both our artificial and natural reefs are off our coastline. Now behind the rocks here to the right, you'll see that house there with the vegetation around it. That home used to belong to the harbor master, and I imagine when he and his family lived there, they had a great view of the harbor. But also this property to our right, this would have been where the first immigrants arrived. They would have quarantined here, similar to what Ellis Island is to New York. But some text you read, it says it was built on an island. But regardless, before construction could begin on this fort, it needed a good footprint. So 70,000 tons of granite was shipped to Charleston from New England to help create that footprint. And sometimes pastors have asked me, Captain Travis, did that granite come from the state of New Hampshire, the granite state? And I tell them I do not know, but it probably did so. Now that sand you see to the right of the fort, apparently it has not always been there. When they were dredging the shipping channel here in the harbor, they relocated some of the dredge material there. And today you can actually walk from Fort Johnson behind us all the way out to Fort Sumter during a low tide. But this sand is also used for recreational purposes. You'll see a few boats out there anchored near the sand, and they kind of use it for a beach in the harbor. And the locals call it the No Name Beach. And on Saturdays, there'll be at least 50 recreational boats out there anchored out, enjoying the beach in the harbor. So most people aren't working on Saturdays. That's the south side of the fort, the other side of the fort that we're looking at now. That side would have only had 1 tier of cannons. That's where the officer quarters were located. Looking at the base of the fort right now, do you guys see those colored squares? Those colored squares are once where the lower tier of cannons once were located, but they have since been removed and filled in with mortar to protect the inside of the fort from the seas and waves and hurricanes. Looking at the flagpole right now, do you guys see that dark ring? That dark ring represents the original height of Fort Sumter prior to the Civil War at 50 feet high. Inside of the fort, you'll see that black structure, dolphin to the left. That black structure inside of the fort is not a part of its original construction. That was added later during the Spanish-American War in 1898. Also, two 12-inch guns were added to this fort during World War II for coastal defenses. Now, as the Civil War progressed, the Union soldiers also came to Charleston and bombarded this fort with the Confederate soldiers inside. So this fort took a lot of damage, if not most of it, during the Civil War. That's why it is no longer 50 feet high. Now, once the Civil War ended, Major Anderson from that first battle, he came back to Charleston, and he brought that same tethered American flag with him, the one he hauled down after the first battle, and he hauled it back up on top of Fort Sumter. And I thought that was very significant, or symbolic, that he did that, considering all the suffering and casualties that the Civil War brought to the United States. But ironically, the same day Major Anderson hauled up that tethered American flag on top of Fort Sumter, that evening, President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Now, off to the right, you'll see that first lighthouse I spoke of a few moments ago, Morris Island. Just imagine Fort Sumter being bombarded from that direction, and more dolphins to the right. Just imagine Fort Sumter being bombarded from that direction, because apparently most of the damage of the fort came from that direction on Morris Island and to the right of it on James Island. But Fort Sumter was also bombarded here from our left on Sullivan's Island and from ships in the harbor that surrounded it.
Am I filming?
And if you look at our skyline right now,
All right.
you'll notice that we do not have any skyscrapers like some other U.S. cities may have. And there's no reasons for this. Number one is, our skyline here in Charleston sits on field and marshland. So we would not be able to support such a tall structure with a skyscraper. And reason for 2. Well, there's still a rule in the books today that says no developer to build a building on the college church people. So what's in front of us right now, does anyone think they may identify which of the college church people in the skyline control? Also, Charleston has a few different nicknames that want to make this the whole city due to all of this churches. But sometimes I go to different. I'll provide light for the College of Charleston's baseball team and Charleston's minor league soccer team, the Battery. Also, a shout out to Coastal Carolina University, who made it to the finals in the college baseball World Series. They're just right up the road from here. Suspension part of the bridge. Each of these towers have elevators inside for inspection and maintenance purposes. You may also notice a lot of rocks around these 2 towers. That is 5 acres of rocks strategically placed around each tower, and the idea is if a deep draft commercial vessel were to lose its steering, the vessel would run aground on the island of rocks before making any contact with the 2 columns, as long as the vessel is not transiting over 12 knots in speed. If you're visiting Charleston, I would suggest trying to walk up to the top of the bridge. If you do so, you'll have a great view of the harbor and the peninsula. You can easily do this by parking your car here on the right in Mount Pleasant and taking that walk up to the top. Or if you're willing and able, you may want to attempt to walk around over the entire length of the bridge, which is 2.4 miles long.
No.
And each year there is a famous 10K road race, and the runners start this race on our right in Mount Pleasant, and from our right to our left, and the race ends downtown at Marion Square. The name of this run is called the Cooper River Bridge Run. We had it here this past spring. And if you look on the other side of the bridge, you'll see those blue and white cranes. The ones on the right are on the Wando River. Again, that's the Wando Terminal. And the cranes on the left are on the Cooper River. That's Charleston's newest terminal, the Leatherman Terminal. Now, it was about 5 months ago, Charleston received a major ice storm. They received about 4 inches of ice, maybe a little snow mixed in, and all the bridges in Charleston had to be shut down, including this one in front of us. And when they shut this bridge down, there were a few people that decided to go sledding down it, and one guy decided to snowboard down this bridge, and he made the local news. He was famous for about a week.
That's awesome. I just got.
Be cool.
Yeah. Probably be dangerous. It's freaking out. You get racking up like 50 miles of speed.
You'd probably speed up pretty quick before you slide.
Yeah. There's a door right there. See it? See it?
And in just a moment, we'll be testing the ship's whistle with 2 short blasts. Let me know if the whistle test is satisfactory.
Just be loud, won't it? How loud?
I don't know.
Also, the terminals in front of us to the right and left, if the statistic is still true today, Charleston is the 7th largest container port in the United States. The terminal off to the right there, it can accommodate 3 container ships at one time.
I'm gonna plug my ears. I don't want to go deaf yet.
I don't think it'll bother you.
Fine. Plug my ears just close. There it is.
All right, guys, watch your ears.
I didn't know that.
They told you.
Well, I was listening to her. I didn't know.
I think they're done. They said they were gonna do 2.
All right, guys, I didn't get much of a reaction out of that whistle test, but I think it was satisfactory. Got 1 thumbs up for the gentleman up front. Thank you, sir.
Sir.
I'll see you. You see it?
Yeah.
Probably where a lot of Irish
So off to
immigrants
the right
came in.
here, in between these rows of trees, you should be able to start seeing the
I
Irish
see
flag
it.
flying. And the reason why the Irish flag is
way in
flying
there.
to our right is because there's an Irish memorial right here. The memorial's close to the water where we're located. The memorial's made of granite. It's elevated. It's in the shape of the country of Ireland. And it also has the regions of Ireland engraved in that granite memorial.
gotta
And the
check
reason why
that
that
out.
Irish memorial is there to the right is due to all the Irish immigrants that came to the port of Charleston over the many, many years, including mine in 1815. And here to the right, the sailing vessel you see, the schooner Pride. This is our sister ship. And we saw it earlier when we got off the dock.
I have to go check out the Ireland.
And here to the right, the building with all the windows. And the unibrow. And the teeth. This is the South Carolina Aquarium. And inside this building is the tallest or deepest aquarium in North America. I believe at 42 feet in depth. I believe number 2 is in Houston, Texas, which is used to train the NASA astronauts. Inside this building, they also rehabilitate sea turtles, up to 7 different species of them. And behind those teeth is a touch pool for stingrays. The South Carolina Aquarium, they just had their 25th year anniversary. Now to the left of the South Carolina Aquarium, the big building you see here on the right, this is the Fort Sumter Tourist Information Center. There's a small museum inside with some literature and displays that you can read up on both the history of both Charleston and Fort Sumter. It's quite nice.
Museums are boring, Ruby. You just walk around.
We're about to get off the boat. She's talking about this.
All right, guys, I got some sad news. Do you guys see the tall condominium building here to the right with all the hurricane shutters closed with some of the condos there? Well, it was about 5 months ago, all the residents of this building were given 48 hours notice to evacuate. They were told they could not take their furniture, just their few personal belongings.
Jeez.
At the time, they did not know if they'd ever be able to come back to their residence. This building was built in 1978. It's had ongoing structural integrity issues with it. The residents ended up hiring 2 different law firms to litigate the situation they're in. And as a few weeks ago, they started allowing a few of the residents to come back, a few at a time, to retrieve a few more of their personal items. They do not know what the final status of this building is going to be. And apparently the same developer of this building is the same developer of the condominium building that went down in South Florida in 2021.
Oh.
Now those different colored townhomes to the right of it, apparently those residents had to evacuate as well. And they are suing the city to figure out why they are not allowed to come back to their residence either.
I think I can see it buckling a little bit.
Now,
Old
here on the right, the building on stilts, the brown and tan building, this is Charleston's new International African American Museum. It opened up in 2022. And it's very symbolic they decided to put this museum here in Charleston because it is estimated that 40%, if not more, of the African slaves that were brought to the United States were brought through the port of Charleston. And here to the right is called Gadsden's Wharf, and a lot of those African slaves would have arrived right here. And there's a lot of excitement when they decided to put this museum here in Charleston. And when I come to work in the mornings, I'll see buses bringing both young and old people to come visit this museum. And it wasn't that long ago that both comedian Chris Rock was in town, as well as our former president, visiting the International African American Museum.
I don't know if I'm just not singing straight, but it looks like the porches on that building over there, like bending in the middle.
All right, guys, that concludes our lap around the harbor. How was it?
Possible structural anything. All right, great.
All right, I got some thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Definitely can't do this job, though, without my team today. My mate, Jacob, deckhand Miles, also a photographer, Trinity. They keep me safe. They keep the boat safe. They keep you guys safe. All right, guys, I'm going to stay on this course for a moment, monitor my current and wind. I'll be coming about and headed back towards the dock that we originated from. But I'd also like to take this time out to let you guys know that our paychecks are dependent on tips, and we are in the service hospitality industry, and we have an orange buoy tip jar. It will be located on the left side, the port side of the top deck. You'll see it right before you step off the boat. It's got a cowbell underneath it. And sometimes pastors ask me, Captain Travis, what is a good tip to leave on a harbor tour? And I tell them if we did a good job, we answered all your questions, met all your expectations, then a good tip may be anywhere between 10 and 20% of the ticket price. We also take Venmo. All right, guys, check for traffic on my port. Be coming about. Thank you all again for coming with us this afternoon on the Carolina Belle. What a beautiful day in Charleston we are having so far. A lot less hot than the last 2 days.
All right.